What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Game Day with Trey. This is your host, Trey. That's my co-host and my homeboy, Face.
What up, world?
And today we're going to go ahead and hit you a little round robin around the NFL, as well as give you some of the previews of what's about to happen in these preseason games that are upcoming in the next 24 to 48 hours. But first and foremost, we got to start off talking about that flag I got behind me right there. All right. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have traveled up to New Jersey to have joint practices in East Rutherford with the New York Jets. And I got some sad news to let all Buccaneer fans know, or maybe it's not sad news. I mean, I don't know. I kind of predicted it in the last episode last night. If you watched it last night, when I spoke to you about this guy, Russell Gage. First and foremost, prayers out to him and his family. I hope that he recovers quickly and that he lands on his feet at the end of the season, wherever he may go, whether it be back with Tampa Bay or with another team. You know, I do wish the best for this young man, but he is officially out for the season, injured again, as he has been the whole time that he has been in Tampa Bay. All right. So,
Stealing money.
yeah, you know.
Out here to steal money. Stealing.
Yeah, some call it stealing, some call it fair exchange, man. You know, contracts equal fair exchange, so that's what it is. Russell Gage will be out for the rest of the year. Let me go ahead and give you a quick update about what else is happening in this practice, though. Then we will talk a little bit about the Bucks and the Jets, because that game is going to be exciting when it comes up in the next couple days. All right, so Aaron Rodgers got sacked 6 times today in practice. That is the minimum amount of times he was sacked. That because this is a joint practice and you're not allowed to hit Aaron Rodgers. But let's just say that means there were 6 situations where there was no way on God's green earth that he was not getting sacked. So they call those sacks in those kind of practices. He also threw a couple interceptions, which he does that against the Buccaneers. That's just our defense. This does look very, very promising for our defensive line, as I've been stating and I've been screaming from the mountaintops and no one wants to listen. Okay, our defense is a defense to be reckoned with. Ty Bowles knows what he's doing with that defense. You can disparage the man on anything you want as far as trying to control an offense. But when it comes to defense, he does that. And them boys came out to play for him, man. And so I am very, very excited to see what happens in this Jets Buccaneers game in the next 72 hours, I believe, before it's actually going to happen. But to let you know a couple other things. All right, so yeah, the Bucks defense did wipe the floor with the Jets offense. Rodgers had to check down a lot. Most of the passes went for less than 10 yards. Uh, that's not good. The Bucks offense did not do too bad either. All right, Trey Palmer did beat Sauce Gardner for a touchdown in a cover zero situation. So that means Sauce Gardner had no backup. It was 1-on-1. The Rook versus the second-year player out of Cincinnati, and the Rook won. I mean, Chris Godwin said it was a good practice. He said we do have some things to work on, but we come away from this very confident. And I have to believe when C God says something, I have to believe what C God is saying, because at the end of the day, he's C God, man. But oh yeah, and by the way, Mekhi Becton didn't play for the Jets. Again, he's the guy I was talking about the night before that is hurt all the time. So he didn't play. Dwayne Brown also injured as well, did not play. It's not looking good for the Jets offensive line. It's a good thing that Dalvin Cook arrived on his jet today in his plane to the New York Jets. But at the end of the day, you got to have somebody block for him too. It's not just blocking for Aaron Rodgers. Somebody got to block for him too. So Face, before we get into these other games, as a Buccaneer fan and somebody who is also pulling for the Jets this year, and wants Aaron Rodgers to be successful. Okay, okay.
Listen.
Somebody went and invested
I
in an
just want to see
Aaron
what it look
Rodgers
like.
jersey. Okay.
I ain't pulling for those Jets though. I am not pulling for the Jets. I just want to see. I just want to see what it look like. I am not pulling for those Jets. But I would say this.
Yes, sir.
It does look promising when the Tampa Bay defensive line is getting pressure on these quarterbacks, because in the Tampa 2, it's predicated on the pressure applied by your defensive front and your linebackers getting back and covering that area. So if our defensive line are getting pressure on the quarterbacks, that's a great thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got to look at it like last year. We didn't really have nobody with no sacks, over 8 sacks, 9 sacks. So we need a defensive line to put some pressure on these quarterbacks so our back end could turn the ball over. You know what I mean? That's
Yes,
how
sir.
you get interceptions, when you make these quarterbacks get rid of the ball early, when they ain't ready to get rid of the ball. That's how you get turnovers. So that's a good sign for the Bucs.
Very good sign. Very good sign.
And far as Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, hey, I wanted to see what it looked like, just like I want to see what the Miami Dolphins look like. But I'm a Buck fan. I'm pulling for the Bucks. We all in the same league. It ain't no way in the hell I'm gonna have 2 teams. So I know what I said though. I did say that I'm intrigued by the Jets. I want to see what their defense look like. I want to see what they like, just like the shit they done put on paper. I want to see what it look like on the field. Same thing with the Dolphins. I just want to see what it look like. You know what I mean?
Oh no! Look, the AFC East is definitely going to be one of those conferences, or one of those divisions that you have to pay attention to. All right, because you do have 3 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Whether you think that Aaron Rodgers is over the hill or not, he's still a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Whether you believe that Josh Allen is overrated or not, he's still a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Whether you think that Tua is a concussion waiting to happen, he's still a top 12, top 15 quarterback in the NFL. So he's the top half of the league. I probably would put him in the top 12, top 13. So that's not bad, especially for someone like Tua. So at the end of the day, the AFC East is definitely something you want to pay attention to. I'm not going to disparage Mac Jones as if he doesn't exist out there. Mac Jones, now that he's got Zeke, like we talked about yesterday, and he's still, because remember, Ramondre Stevenson led the team in receptions for them last year, the running back. So with Juju Smith-Schuster out there, I just think it's going to be, it could be a very intriguing year in the AFC East, man. But back to the Bucks. Love to see what happened up there in practice. Hate to see Russell Gage get hurt, but at the end of the day,
he made room for these other guys that we've been clamoring about. So
yes, sir.
We already said we wanted him out the way anyway. I ain't gonna fake the funk with you. Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not happy that the young man got hurt.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, this is the NFL. Not for long.
And I just hope these rookies make the best of their opportunity, because we needed more speed at the receiver position. So if these guys, as fast as they say they are, as confident as he say he is, and I seen his hands, so I see he got nice soft hands. So hopefully this is what we've been looking for. AB gone, we got somebody younger and hungrier. You know what I'm saying?
Trey Palmer. You got to understand, Trey Palmer, the reason he transferred from LSU is because he was sitting behind Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Like, he's not a bad wide receiver at all. He's got hands. He can run routes. He's set the record at Nebraska in one season. And you know Nebraska's not a passing team. He set the record for most receptions and most yards by a wide receiver in Nebraska history in one season. You can't be mad at that. Like, I'm happy for that. I'm sad to see what's going on with Russell Gage.
Because Nebraska run that triple option to death.
Yeah, I know.
They run that option to death.
I know. And yet he still ended up with over 1,000 yards receiving last year for them. So that is something to pay attention to. And don't forget about Kalen Geiger and my personal favorite, Devin Tompkins. Devin Tompkins, I'm I am trying to tell the world about this young man before they find out about it. Because listen, the young wide receiver core that we have down here in Tampa makes this wide receiving core that we have already. This will be the best wide receiving core in the NFL in the next 2 years if Kalen Geiger, Devin Tompkins, or Trey Palmer become what I believe they are. And I think all three of them can make it. Just saying.
Hey, you got to think about it. How many more years you think Mike Evans got left in the tank? I'm not
Exactly.
saying that but it's time to start thinking about the future when you come into your
Oh,
receivers.
hold up.
Plus,
Shout out to my homeboy, Jackie Brewer. He got Mike Evans' autograph on his jersey at the practice the other day that was open to the public. Shout out to my homeboy, Jackie. All right, the autograph looked nice. It was good to hear the report from practice, and it's good to see somebody at the practice enjoying it. But back to what you were saying. I'm sorry to interrupt, Face.
no, you all right. I wasn't saying much. I was just, nope. But, hey, I know this. Countdown, football, real football.
Real football, right around the corner. Right around the corner, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into the next matchup that we got coming up, which is the Cleveland Browns visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Coming to the link. All right, so this is going to be an intriguing matchup because this is week 2. And for all of those who do not know or understand the new format of the preseason, there's only 3 preseason games now for most teams or all teams, unless you're playing in the Hall of Fame game. If you're playing the Hall of Fame game, then you have 4 preseason games. But if not, you only play 3. Now, my infinite wisdom of watching the game as much as I've watched the game, I have now view this as week 1 is the throwaway game, right, in preseason. Week 2 is the most vital one. In week 3, if you're playing starters, then either you got a major competition or you got a lot of questions. And it could be a very stressful season for your fans out there. All right. But at the end of the day, okay, we are in week 2. This is the most important week in the preseason, if you ask me. Yeah.
Hey, I know you ain't talking about practice.
Practice?
Practice? Practice?
Yeah.
The vets been trying to get out of the preseason for years.
Yeah, no.
But you see how they played it. They cut the preseason in the season. So you still playing the game, but at least they matter now. At least you ain't getting hurt on some
on a slim slam. Now you're actually because the thing is, if they make it to the regular season, then they get hurt. Then they get it's a different type of injury package, and you're still can be on the team technically. There's a lot of technicalities to it, but getting injured in the regular season versus getting injured in the preseason it's better to get injured in the regular season if you're gonna get injured.
Because you on the roster.
Exactly.
If you get hurt before you make the roster, you ain't gonna make the team.
Exactly.
And that's kind of messed up. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think it was Perriman. Perriman was a wide receiver we used to have every preseason show out.
Yep.
Get hurt, but they brought him back. He get hurt. You know,
keep bringing him back. You keep getting hurt.
Because he was working, but he was just kept getting hurt. You know what I mean? I think he played for somebody else right now.
Yeah. He ended up playing. Perriman ended up playing for the Broncos for a little bit. He played for the Lions. Perriman's bounced around. He's a great wide receiver, though. I do respect his game, and Tom Brady respected his game as well. All right, but back on this Browns Eagles game, right? So the spread for the game is the Eagles are giving up 3.5. All right, the over under is 37.5. Money line, it is Browns plus 150. Eagles minus 185. If you're looking for win probability versus the money line, it's a 67.7% chance that the Eagles win this game, and only a 52.1% chance that they cover. All right, says MGM Sportsbooks. So, oh yeah, and by the way, the record against the spread. Right now, the Browns are 1-1 money line, and 1-1 in over and under. So it's they had one go over, one go under. Whereas the Eagles are 0-1 money line because they just lost to the Ravens. All right, and then they are 1-0 versus the over, meaning if the game went over, because when they played the Ravens the other day, that was a dogfight, 19-20 or something like that. It was a very good game, came down to the final throw. But so who am I looking to see this game? I mean, there's a lot of great players out of Georgia that will be playing in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Whether you're talking about defensive lineman Jalen Carter, the Beast, the dog, uh, whatever you want to call him. I mean, 6 foot when you're 6'8" and 350 pounds, and you move like he does, you run a 4.4, 4.5 40, then there's not much you can say, but a monster. And then you got Keely Ringo. Keely Ringo set the record at the NFL draft. He's the first person over 6'2" and 215 pounds to run a 4.3 or better in the 40, and he did that at the NFL draft. So then you also got, and he's out of Georgia. Then you got Nolan Smith, who's been tearing it up at the practices for the Eagles. They got a lot of dogs out there, and that's not just that's a double entendre.
It's like the way they put that team together. It's like they got automatic camaraderie because they got teammates that played in college together that still got good relationships. Now they're on the same team, so that's like.
Don't forget about Jordan Davis too. They still got Jordan Davis too. Remember they drafted Jordan Davis last year.
They got a couple of
N'Kobe Dean, linebacker. Yeah, they got N'Kobe Dean. They got Devontae Smith.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles going to be something to reckon with again this year. They was good last year, but I think they're going to be a lot better this year.
Yeah, I honestly believe that the way they've been drafting, they're not just building for today and stacking for today. They're stacking for tomorrow. This is a team that's going to be around for a long time. They're going to be something to reckon with out there in the NFC East and throughout the NFC. As long as they keep that core of SEC players that they got there, because Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, everybody I just named on the defense, they got a team. And their future is very bright. But let's not just talk about them, all right? Because they are playing somebody else. They are playing the Browns. And there's some stuff you want to see there. Yeah, the lowly Browns. Cleveland, Cleveland.
The paper bags. They still wearing the paper bags over there?
Yeah, they call themselves the dog pound and all that sometimes. Yes, man.
And that's my partner Roosevelt team. That's my partner Roosevelt team. I got to get out there on them every now and then when it comes to these Browns.
Man, of course, because they've been through the mud just like the Buccaneers have been through the mud. It's just the only difference is we win Super Bowls. They don't.
Yeah, we came out the mud.
Yeah, we've been out the mud though. We got 2 Super Bowls.
That's what I'm saying. They still in the mud. They still in the mud. But I want to see what Deshaun Watson gonna do.
Yes.
I want to. It's a few bright spots that they have over there. They got.
They got Amari Cooper. So it could be fun to see how that works out between Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson. Because remember, Amari Cooper he's not a burner, but he runs some of the best routes in the NFL. So hopefully he gets a little run, a little spin in this game, so we can see how that works out and see how that continuity is coming together. We also want to look at Siaki Iaka. All right, Siaki Iaka is a defensive lineman that they drafted out of Baylor I can't remember which round it was in. Maybe it might have been the second round, third round, but he was a steal nonetheless. This kid is a beast, and I think that he's going to be dangerous on that defensive line with Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett. When you got Miles Garrett on one side, Zadarius Smith on the other side, and you got this, and you got Perrion Winfrey along with Siaki Ika, this is a very dangerous defense. Not to mention what they got out there on the outside when you're talking about Denzel Ward, lockdown census. Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on in this Cleveland defense. But there's also some battles you want to watch on this offense. I mean, look what's going on behind Nick Chubb. Who's going to be the backup? Will it be John Kelly or Jerome Ford out of Cincinnati? Is Cedric Tillman building continuity, and is he going to work his way up that depth chart to pass Elijah Moore and Donovan Peoples-Jones? Now, I honestly believe that Cedric Tillman should easily make it to the number 3 or number 4 spot because I think he's, in my personal opinion, better than Donovan Peoples-Jones. Now, and Elijah Moore, they say a lot of good things what has been happening with him out of camp too, with the continuity he's built with Deshaun Watson. But what say you, Face? How do you feel about that Cleveland Brown team?
No, I
Well, we'll leave the team. What about the game?
I just want to see all the. I want to see all the young guys. I want to see what they do. I feel like this. Cleveland ain't a trash team. They might not win as many games, but they gonna give you. They fight hard. You know what I mean? Cleveland fight hard in some of the games that went the other way. They could have went their way to make their record a little bit better. But I'm not saying like Cleveland is just a sucky team. I'm just a Buck fan. I want to see these rookies and see what they're doing in the positions, but really, I want to see us.
All right, well, let me give you a little bit more real quick.
I'm a football fan, but it's just certain teams like, it'd be like
they're below your radar. Certain teams are below your radar. That's what to put it like that. They're not on the radar. They're below the radar. Meaning, they there.
It just don't. Yeah, it just ain't as exciting.
I can understand, but look, Cleveland is playing in the best division in football, brother.
Best features on. You gotta look at the defensive line. That's what I want to watch. I want to see how other teams try to combat what they're doing with these defensive linemen, because you got all pros on the corner. Now you got somebody in the middle. You got back end players that's highly skilled, like far as the defensive backs and stuff. So I want to see how this, like, the defense is intriguing to me. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm more focused on with them, because I want to see how that defensive line controls the game. I want to see, can they control the game on the defensive line.
I understand, and I'm definitely with you. All right, so to go ahead and to speak a little bit more on that. So I'm not anticipating these starters play a lot in this game, but like I said, this to me is the most important game. You really don't want your starters playing in week 3. You want them to go ahead and play in week 2, rest in week 3, so that they can be prepared for the season, which is week 1, coming after week 3. I mean, that's just my personal opinion on that.
And like I said, it's an unfortunate situation as far as with Gage, but you got to think about how the young players thinking now. Now they really feel like, oh, I got a shot. So now I want to see how they respond too, because this is an opportunity. One man's misfortune is another man's. You feel me? So
all day,
I understand their teammates, and they don't want to. Nobody don't want to see their teammate hurt. You know what I mean? Because they all can understand the dynamics of what an injury could do to your career, especially at the wrong time in your career. Like right now, he's been injury prone for the last few years. So it's it might be hard for him to get back on the field, like far as because.
Oh no, it's over for him right now. It's over for him. If Russell Gage is out for the season, that means that he's gonna have to find a regime. Yeah, he's done as a Buck, and he's gonna have to hopefully land on his feet somewhere else. I pray he does. Hope everything ends up well for the young man. But it is what it is. This is what the NFL stands for. NFL stands for not for long. It's because you have to be There's a lot of luck that comes along with surviving in the NFL. It's not just about your talent. Injuries happen to people. Okay, I've been injured. I have had 3 surgeries on my left knee: torn ACL, torn cartilage, total reconstructive surgery. I've had a surgery on my left hand. I've had tendon reattached and ligaments reattached in my left hand. So, look, I know about the rehab process. I know about these types of things, and it happens, brother. It's what I can say is this: that when those types of things do happen, it's all about how you bounce back mentally, because it is a mental battle. It's just as much as that it is a physical battle going through that
More
rehab.
mental than anything,
Yeah, I
basically.
know. So you got to be mentally prepared and mentally strong. And if you're not, then you'll beat yourself down and beat yourself up, and you'll have end up with a lot more regrets than you do have memories. But back to what I'm talking about with this game with the Browns versus the Eagles. All right, so there was a promising drive last week from Deshaun Watson versus the Commanders, but then fifth round pick DTR Dorian Thompson Robinson came in, and he actually impressed. He's been having a strong camp, so I'm expecting to see him play a lot. I do know that Jerome Ford's still battling a calf issue, and receiver Elijah Moore, he's a little banged up. With Marquise Goodwin is still out with blood clots. The O line depth also has been put to the test in the joint practices against the Eagles. Great defensive front, so there's a lot of reserve jobs up for grabs in this game. So if you're paying attention to this game, this is it. When you're a Browns fan, or if you're just any fan, you should be paying attention to this game because of the fact you want to see who you can pick up on your team. That's why, as a fan, like I do this because I love the game. So I come on here, I speak about all these sports, I speak about all these games with knowledge that I retain as well as things that I study and learn because I love the game of football. But the fan in me wants to watch every single game because I want to be able to pick these guys up, and bring them to the
I
Bucks.
got that around the league
So
this year. I got that around the league this year. I got that around the league pass this year. So I ain't gonna
good.
miss a 2 minute none of the game.
All right, and so a little bit about those Eagles as well. So the Eagles don't have a ton of starting jobs out there right now, but the safety job has been remained fluid. Reed Blankenship's been looking good. He's battling Sidney Brown out of Illinois. I really like that young man. I wanted Tampa to get him. I think that his battle with Terrell Edmonds from the Steelers, who started for the Steelers last year, is it's going to come down to this week, probably this week or next week. Last week, Sidney Brown had 9 tackles on 41 snaps. So the youngster is everywhere on the field. Now he did get in a little mix up, like fight rumble today at practice, I believe, at the joint practices, or yesterday at the joint practices. Uh, Also, look out for Kayvon Wallace too. He's also in the safety battle right there. But there's really not too many more battles to go on there. If I'm anybody and I'm gonna bet this game, which I would not bet this game. I would not bet these preseason
That
games.
ain't preseason.
Okay, but I'll tell you one thing: when you're looking at what they've got going on with the Browns and the backup quarterback battle, and what they have going on with the Eagles and the defense that they have, and all of the battles that all the people that they got on that defense, and how deep their defense is. Man, I couldn't take the over. I would have to take the under. That'd be the only thing I feel safe with, you know. But that's just me. And remember, that over under was set at 37 and a half. So now let's go ahead and let's get into the next one real quick. We just do a quick thing. Panthers, Giants. The spread is the Giants -3. It's 39 and a half is the over under. Money line is Panthers plus 135, Giants -160. The win probability is Giants 57.2%. Cover probability is 53.2%. Both of the teams are 0 and 1 when you're talking about money line. And Panthers, their first game went under. Giants, that game went over. People I'm looking to watch, I got to see Bryce Young not get hit as much as he got hit last week. He got sacked 3 times or hit 3 times last week. That's too much for him only playing 1 quarter. So that can't happen. I got to see him get more continuity with Jonathan Mingo, first round or whatever round draft pick out of Mississippi. He's a good wide receiver, but he's got to come through for this young man because if he doesn't, and Terrence Marshall, I got to see him show up somewhere on the stat line too. If Terrence Marshall and Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo don't all get on the same page, then this is going to be on Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard, and they're going to see 8 in the box all day, every day. And this Carolina offensive line is like Swiss cheese right now. All right, the Giants are making Swiss cheese of them in the joint practices, and you saw what happened in the last game and how much pressure Bryce Young was under in that last game. So all I can say is this: Panthers better figure out a way to protect him, or there's no way that they're going to be successful this year. They might get that young man hurt. You got anything to say on that one? Let's move on to the next one. Then you got the Bengals versus the Falcons. All right, so the spread is the Falcons giving up 6.5. We all know that Joe Burrow is still hurt. He's still got the calf strain injury, and he will not be ready for week 1 nor week 2, most likely. So they've got a lot of problems going on up there in Cincinnati, a lot of turmoil. So like I said, spread 6.5. Falcons giving up the 6.5. The over-under is 38.5. The money line is Bengals plus 200. Falcons minus 250. Win probability is the Falcons at 73.6%. The cover probability is the Falcons at 51.5. So that means take the money line on the Falcons. If you're going to take the over-under, I would stay away from it just because the Bengals game went over last game and the Falcons game went under. All right. Then you also got a quarterback battle going on for the Cincinnati Bengals between Jake Browning and Trevor Siemian. And no one knows who's going to win that battle. So it's a lot of stuff going on that Cincinnati sideline with no Joe Burrow. They're in a lot of trouble right now. If you are a Cincinnati fan, then I hope you are holding on to your seats because it's going to be a long ride right now until Joe Burrow is back at the helm for your team. Now, when you're talking about the Falcons, Desmond Ridder is going to see a lot of gameplay. He's going to see a lot of reps in this game. Bijan Robinson, you're going to see some of Bijan. Drake London, you're going to see some of Drake London. Kyle Pitts, you're going to see a lot of that. All 4 of those boys, you're going to see them on the field on a consistent basis. You'll see some Tyler Algier out there. You'll see some Cordero Patterson out there. Not much Cordero Patterson because he is an older player, but he is virtually – he was their Bijan before Bijan. All right, so – at the end of the day, man, I love the Falcons in this one. I just think it's too much, too fast, a lot going on for the Bengals right now. They got to figure themselves out. They got to find out who they are and what they're going to do, much like most teams at this time of year. But that's all we got for today, guys. Just wanted to give you a quick wrap up, give you some previews of some of the games coming up. Yeah, let you know who to rock with, who you're looking for, who you want to watch for, and what position battles to pay attention to, man. As always, have a blessed day, stay safe, and I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Peace.
Peace.